The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Podcast log, Stardate -306007, Games Master Joe recording. After a little debate, myself and the crew of the USS AFTS have taken on a new mission. First Officer Mickie, Chief Engineer JJ, and Security Officer Chris join me on an away mission in the shed as we bring 3 fresh-faced Starfleet Cadets aboard a shuttle on their way to their first assignments. We're playing the Star Trek Adventures playtest mission, The Rescue at Xerxes, and you've been chosen to be part of the away team. Set phasers for stun and enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com, on iTunes, on Facebook, on Stitcher Radio, Google+, Bing, Twitter, bunches of places. We're here for a special session today. We're going to be playing the Star Trek Adventures Alpha Shakedown Cruise. It's the alpha test for Star Trek Adventures RPG. We found this online, posted on Facebook, and we had several requests for us to run it, so here we are. Before we get started in that, we're going to go around the table and say hi, starting with...
Hi, everyone. This is Mickie. I will be playing a Vulcan on this adventure.
Well done.
JJ here. I'll be playing YOLO, the Denobulin... Yolin. Sorry.
No, it's all right. You can say
I couldn't help it. I'll be playing the Denobulin pilot.
Oh.
All right.
This is Chris. Yeah, Chris, you're next. You're right
This
there.
is Chris. I'll be playing Zhao Wen. Looks like he's a field medic. He's human, so he's kind of normal, I guess, for that sense.
Cool. And I am Joe. I am, as they stated in this rulebook, the games master for our session. Y'all are the players because they didn't change that.
Does that make you Q?
Or
Q-like?
Not necessarily. Maybe. Let's say for now, no.
Okay.
Although I am wearing my Think Geek Star Trek pajama shirt, in which
Looking
I have
very
the
Captain-like.
Commander uniform.
I brought a Firefly shirt.
You did. At least
You
it's
get
space.
out of the shed. Wrong genre.
Play a Firefly.
No, it's the right genre. Just wrong show.
It's space, at least.
It's still space.
Or Chris just has a fancy polo on.
Yeah.
Gene Roddenberry just turned over in his grave.
He did. So we're playing this game now. We are going to be learning it as we go. So everybody out there, get your ears ready for a lot of, challenging gameplay.
How else is this different?
As Chris put it earlier before we started, this is the Jazz Improv edition of Adventures from the Shed plays Star Trek Adventures.
It's not like we haven't done it before.
Yeah. It's going to sound a bit weird.
Yeah, it will. So first, who's playing the Wookiee? Yeah, I don't think we need to go there. We'll get that out of the way. All right. So we've got the Firefly, and we've got the Star Wars. Any other references we need to get out of the way?
Bring me YOLO and the Wookiee.
Battlefield Earth, maybe?
No, never that.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica, yeah.
I don't know which one.
Oh, BSG, the reimagined.
Yeah, see, now you guys know the newer one. I only know the old one, because old.
What do you hear, Starbuck?
Yes, it's Starbuck.
Nothing but the rain.
Buck Rogers.
Grab your cat and bring in the gun.
So let's go through a little bit of the characters.
Yeah.
So, Mickie, you're playing the Vulcan.
I am playing the Vulcan.
How do you
Her
want to
name
pronounce
is Tevel.
Tevel, got it. And all of our characters are going to have been fresh from the academy in our adventure here. What kind of stuff did Tevel study? Do you know, based on what's there?
Well, according to the values here, she seeks to find order in the chaos of the unknown. She studied quantum mechanics, anthropology, and biology.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Quite the science officer.
Yes. And
like her idol.
Who's that?
Spock.
Oh.
Son of Sarek.
Yep. Cool. I think he's an ambassador at this point in time, too. Cool.
She met him when she was very, very young.
Really?
Changed the course of her life.
I'm sure she didn't get emotional over it, though.
Of course not.
Of course
She's
not.
Vulcan.
Great. JJ, what's up with Yolin?
Yolin, he always loves to push his limits.
Okay.
Whether that's pushing buttons on his fellow shipmates,
or
challenging himself to greater and more masterful feats of piloting. he believes thoroughly that to fly the ship, you must know the ship.
Cool.
And he thinks that there's always something to learn. Be that as it may, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a very brash pilot.
Nice.
It's not going to take well to critiques. It's very.
It's gonna go
it's
well.
very.
Yeah, Vulcans are known for not critiquing anything.
Exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, I think.
Chris, Zhao.
Yeah, Zhao Wen.
Zhao.
Zhao seems to be the ever vigilant, a little bit of some security skills, but also a little bit of field medicine. And he's the type of person where he doesn't like to lose at all, doesn't like any acceptable losses. He wants everybody to make it through, no matter what. There's no acceptable losses. Never off duty. He's always ever vigilant. He's always working.
Cool.
We're taking a break.
And for me, I'm going to be playing everything else that happens, as usual, the game's master. We're going to be starting on a shuttle. This crew of 3 is on a shuttlecraft heading to Narendra Station, and that's in the Shackleton Expanse. At some point, you guys are going to be stationed on a starship, Galaxy-class starship, but you are on your way to the space station now. In the shuttle, we need somebody piloting the shuttle at the con, and I think we already know who our brass. He's made of brass.
He's got the brass balls.
Brass balls.
Brash. He's going to be our pilot, and then who is at the ops station? This is somebody who's good at engineering, science, control.
I think that would be Teevil.
I think Tiva will be at ops. So we have the con and ops, and then we've got Zhao probably just making sure everybody is not messing anything up.
That's right.
Maybe? Yeah.
Paying attention.
So you and your fellow... also, let me put another precursor in here. As we're learning this system, I will be trying to explain how I understand some of the rules so far, which is probably got a 50-50 shot of being right. I'm going to be optimistic here instead of it
That's
being
pretty good
wrong.
odds.
Yeah, that's pretty comparative to the way we normally play. I will be playing the published adventure that's part of this alpha playtest, and it is the Rescue at Xerxes 4 Star Trek. I'm not sure why it's 4, by the way. That's something that's just printed on it. It's for Star Trek Adventures playset. We're playing with a play. It's like Lego.
Naming conventions, it's probably the system's name and then the fourth planet from the solar.
You know, that's a good point, JJ.
You're such a nerd.
Star Trek Adventures playtest number 1. It is the Rescue at Xerxes 4. It's the first adventure in the Star Trek Adventures Living Campaign playtest series. So we're part of their playtest series now. We're playing with the minimum of 3 players. So as part of that setup, what I have done is I've told each person their character can have, what did we end up with, 4 determination points. Determination points essentially give people successes, and they're only useful for the session, not for each scene. It's for the whole session. You don't get them back. So make sure when you
So
use
we don't
it,
get them
it's at
after
an
a long
important-
rest or
Right,
anything.
exactly.
That's not happening.
You get them after the credits roll.
Okay.
before the next one shows up. So we, in order to use this game, we need to play the game. We need at least 2 20-sided dice. We'll probably use more per person, but at least 2 to get started because every task we do rolls 2 20-sided dice. A set of chips or tokens for determination, which we already did. We're actually using just a set of regular old poker chips. And then a set of chips or tokens for threat and momentum, which we also have handy. We are also, one of the playtest things that does not mention is 6-sided dice, and we do need 6-sided dice for this adventure, which we have plenty of because we are geek dice people. We are starting in the shuttle. We know who is where. We've got Teevil at Ops, Yolen at the con, and Zhao just kind of watching over what's going on. Now I'll get back to the pre-published adventure information. So you and your fellow Starfleet graduates chatted about your bright futures. As you did, you received a distress signal from Xerxes 4, an uninhabited Class M planet containing no life except for a Federation science team. The distress signal offered no information except that the science team stationed there was in danger, and you are now taking the shuttle towards the pilot surface, and you are caught in a violent ion storm. Navigation has been knocked out, and you're plummeting towards the ground. Well, towards Xerxes 4, the planet. So now you want to try and get the shuttle down safely. Here's where we're going to start learning how tasks work. The person at the con, which would be Yolin, you have a difficulty 2 task to help pilot the shuttle safely. Now, the person at Ops may attempt to assist with this. The way this is going to work is we're going to use these rules. So I'll tell you what to roll to start. So, Mickie, for Teevil, you're going to roll either Control plus Engineering or Reason plus Science, your pick, to help assist Yolin in piloting the shuttle safely to the ground without navigation. Maybe you're doing it to help keep the shuttle systems working longer or find a safer place to land, depending on how you choose to approach it. And you will roll two dice, two 20-sided dice, based on the numbers that you picked, whether it be Control and Engineering or Reason and Science, and you want to hit that or lower.
Okay.
So you roll, and as long as you get any successes, and Yolin has any successes, you add 1 to his.
So is he the captain?
Nope. You're all equals at this point.
Yeah.
You're all
So I would
fresh
refer
out
to
of
him,
Starfleet.
I'd refer to him as Yolin.
Most likely.
Okay.
I know when you first graduate, they don't actually have a title on here.
Like
You
cadet
might be
or something.
Yeah,
maybe?
you're probably cadet. It's probably the easiest.
So Cadet Yolin, right?
Yep.
All right. So we're plumbing. I would go Cadet Yolin. According to my calculations, we have to adjust the angle of entry. Otherwise, we will burn up in the atmosphere.
I know that.
So, Mickie, go ahead and roll 2 20-sided dice. Add your Control and Engineering together.
I'm going to use Reason and Science.
We'll do that then.
Because according to my
go for it.
calculations, we are in the wrong pitch.
Sounds good. And what is the number you have when you put Reason
My
and
Reason
Science
is
together?
11. Science is 5. I have rolled a 19 and an 8.
Okay, so you have 1 success out of that. So one of them is
It's
equal to or
it's
lower.
one equal
Yes.
to, so I've got 1 success.
So you have 1 success. Now, as long as Yolin is successful, he adds 1 more to his. So your aid, you're giving him 1 to add.
All right.
So Yolin, you have Bravery or Control plus Con.
So I have a Bravery 10 and
Yeah.
Con 4, but I also have Shuttlecraft 4. So how does that
Now,
work?
Shuttlecraft 4 is your focus. So you're super good at piloting a shuttlecraft.
So
if
did
you
that
roll
make
a
an
4,
18 or a 14?
you add them together.
But what I'm
Yes.
saying is the
Yes.
focus add.
You don't
It
add
does.
that. If you get lower than
I
that.
thought it
it's-
did add that.
No, we were adding either like so he's going to use
Well, yes,
bravery
but,
and con.
now, this is where we'll have our first reference to the rules. We're going to
Exactly.
add
I'm assuming
in-
he's adding bravery and con for the
Yes,
14.
that is
and then if
correct.
he rolls under a 4 because he has shuttlecraft 4, then it's what he gets the momentum or is it something else?
Yeah, so you keep talking. for a
Hold,
moment.
please,
Or
while
is
we
it-
figure out
Or is
how.
he adding?
Yeah.
Or is he also adding the shuttlecraft skill point?
to make it an 18 because it's my focus. So
Yeah.
there is literally like a 10% chance I fail at this.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I'm just thinking. I guess it
going.
depends how high those skills would go.
I'm trying to see where it actually says if they're all added or not.
Exactly.
But yeah, that would help us out
Yep.
immensely. But I know. But then the focus if you roll
I also have another option here where I can jury rig. So I could try to jury rig the navigation system to try to help with the landing. Do a quick, what do you call it? Temporary repair.
That's an interesting thought.
I don't know if the situation has allowed for that or not, though.
In actuality, it allows for whether how poorly you land. You're going to crash land, and
Okay.
you're guiding the crash landing at this point because the shuttle has already suffered damage. And how you get there is that important. Is the important piece. All right. So what I've got here, and I'm just going to read this just to make it clear for us. It says tasks are handled using a character's attribute, skill, and focuses. And the roll of 2 or more d20s before attempting a task determine which attributes, skills, and focuses, if any, are relevant to the situation. Once they are known, determine the target number for that task. So I already know that, but it doesn't say...
How to determine the target number.
Well, I do. The target number is just this is a target number of 2. It's a
Okay.
challenging task. That one's easy. That's how many successes you need, but I don't see whether we actually add the focus. So let's just go with this. Right now, we're not going to add the focus because
Okay.
it clearly says another way that focus is used. If you roll a 4 or less, because that's your focus number, you will get 2 successes
Okay.
on that die.
So what happens in the event of a tie? I have a 14 in my bravery and con.
Then you're good.
Okay, so I have 2 successes then.
Match it or less. Right. So then we also add the 1
from
Teevil.
So that's
my
3
assistant.
successes. So,
So
that
you have
means
3. So you guys
we
generate
momentum?
1 momentum. Yes.
and I am moving a chip into the momentum pool. Don't touch the momentum pool.
The momentum pool may not be
She
touched.
dirtied it up.
All right. So we have then, and what's funny here, under the GM guidance, it says it's worth dwelling on this event a little longer than usual because the rules here are important. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to dwell on this. If the task generates any momentum, we did that. So we have this. You are guiding the damaged shuttle. You are able to guide it down and onto a crash land on the planet's surface, but nobody is injured. Okay, so that's one
Everybody-
thing that happens.
check for any injuries. Sometimes it takes a long time for those.
Well, if you
to
brace for
Right
impact
back.
like I yelled, you probably wouldn't have had any injuries.
Look, Yolan, we're not in the academy, and we don't have the safety gear. Everyone should make sure you review your body according to my
I'll check
biology
everyone
tests.
over.
Hey, don't touch that.
That sounds like a Vulcan. What?
Okay.
So you guys have crash landed. As you exit the damaged shuttle to reconnoiter the surroundings, a group of strange Neanderthal humanoids starts throwing rocks at you. There are 4 primitive humanoids clad in the ragged remains of uniforms that would be worn by a Starfleet science team. Team is the word.
Did we
So
know
Federation science team, not Starfleet.
This?
Sorry.
Did we know any of these people on the team?
They look like Neanderthals.
Okay.
Did you know any Neanderthals?
No, but do we know the team that went here?
No.
Like, okay.
No.
There's no
Fresh from
record.
Starfleet. They're throwing rocks at you. So here is where we're going to try out some combat rules. You
Okay.
guys just open up the shuttlecraft door, and there are 4 Neanderthal-looking things out there throwing rocks at you. And I'm going to do this as...
Shut the doors again.
Yeah, shut the door. Well, you can, when it's your turn, you can try and hide behind stuff. I am going to look at the summary sheet here, and I think there's something about ranged combat tasks for ranged attack. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. What
Blah,
to
blah,
roll.
blah.
Yeah, exactly. And if not,
Only
I know
there
it's
was
in
a
the book.
cheat sheet.
But a ranged attack is different from hand-to-hand because a hand-to-hand is a contested task and a ranged attack is not. So on that sheet, unfortunately, on that the reference or the summary sheet, it does not have the action.
I'm mentioning
Yeah, which kind of sucks.
a range.
I'm gonna have to find it in the book here quickly.
So what is the landscape like here?
I think, what was it in Star Trek always? Somewhere in Arizona or in the set in Hollywood?
It's really rocky and dry.
It's rocky. Exactly. It's rocky. It's dry. The planet itself, it's a good question because there is
Styrofoam rocks.
the ion storms passing through regularly, which is just disrupting everything.
All the electronics.
Or,
Yeah.
disrupts
Apparently,
all
they're
that
upper
electronics.
brain patterns as well because this was once a science team.
It sure looks like it would be a science team, yes.
So perhaps we should take cover and protect ourselves from the ion storms. Otherwise, we would all devolve to...
Don't you humans have some kind of protection against mental interference, like the tinfoil or something?
No,
Have you
that's,
been watching
That was a
old
group of
movies
conspiracy theorists back in the early 21st century.
Have you been watching old movies again, Yolan?
I have.
How many times have I told you that's not
wanna
the proper
just
way
toss
to
that right
study
out.
for finals?
How many times?
I passed.
I want to know. I want to know how many
That's
times.
questionable.
I passed. I'm here.
The state of our shuttle suggests otherwise.
You know, the crazy part is I just read this again last night, and I can't remember where I read it, but we kind of need it because you guys are probably going to attack back at some point.
Is anything working on our shuttle? I mean, I know we crashed it, but I was like, power's still working.
The shuttle itself will need some repairs before it can move again. So essentially,
but the sensors are still working, possibly.
No, pretty much all the
Can we
navigation
scan
and
the
sensors
planet?
and stuff.
Yeah,
are
see
wiped
where their
out.
ship is, maybe, or what's going on.
Yeah. Well, the science team didn't have a ship; they would have a station, headquarters type of thing.
Gotcha.
So I knew I would be missing stuff. I didn't think it would be the first thing we wanted to do.
So this is good feedback. There should be a cheat sheet.
There should be.
The
There should
summary
be
sheets
something
are
right
right
on
arranged.
it. So making an attack is kind of what I'm looking for here. I like. All right, so here it is. It's on page 29. For a ranged attack, the attacker attempts a control plus security task with a difficulty of 2. So that's me now. And these guys have, what was it? Control plus security. So that is 7 for me. And I have a 7 and a 20. So what I got is a complication for the bad guys. So one of them is going to throw a rock and hit somebody. Let's see who it's going to hit.
YOLO.
Well, what do you think? I think I think you got nominated, JJ.
All right.
Let's see. That would be 1 point. So you have a stress line there. So you got hit by a rock. You just shove them out in front of you.
I did.
All right. Now the way initiative works here, I think they call it combat order in Star Trek Adventures that we're playing. Star Trek Adventures, yes. The GM decides who goes first, and then we swap sides back and forth. And what that means is when it's your turn, one of you guys gets to go. Completely up to you who goes. And until everybody has gone, you don't go again, that one person. But we swap back and forth. So one of the Neanderthals went, and I want to make... I need something to make a mark.
Something called a pencil.
That'd be good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because I forgot my iPad pen. Damn it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So the initiative will pass to your side. You have 1 momentum on your side now. You can choose to keep the initiative on your side for an extra turn if you use a momentum. It's one way to use it.
So what was the complication that occurred?
On them, it's them, their complication right now.
We don't know yet.
You guys don't see
described?
anything
Okay.
yet. Right.
Gotcha.
So YOLO, are you going to react to the rock that
who's
just
going
hit
to
you?
go first?
Well, it's you choose, right?
You
No,
choose.
I don't. I chose that the Neanderthal went first. That was how combat started. Now it passes to the other side. You guys get to pick who acts next.
Yeah, I'm going to get a phaser shot off one of these guys.
Oh, dear.
Okay, go for it.
And that's control plus security.
Yep.
Correct, and I have ranged attacks.
Yeah,
so a little
every
extra.
ranged attack is control plus security with a difficulty of 2.
All right, so 14. I want to get below 14. Actually, below 4 would even be better for me.
What do you got?
Or
two
double
17.
17s.
Or
Double
two
17s. I
17s.
sucked out.
So
big
you
time.
completely missed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's easy enough. So back to the.
Must be the Ion Storm
It
affecting
is.
my
It
phaser.
is. Got to be. It's messing with everything.
I am going to use.
Well, it's my turn next.
Oh,
We swap back.
Unless
and
we
forth.
want to burn the momentum.
Unless
Okay.
you
Yes.
burn the moment.
Yeah. That's how they do it here. Nobody rolls. It's just somebody goes first, and then you swap back and forth until everyone goes.
Okay.
And you start over again. So I will try. They're still just going to keep throwing rocks. I'm just going to go to the second one here. Who's going to get the next rock?
I don't know. You choose.
You're going to make
All
me choose.
excited.
Yeah. I can do it that. We'll do it that way. So Yolin again
All right,
gets the
they-
next rock.
They don't like denobulin.
Hey, and you get hit again.
His face looks
Let's
funny.
see
They're
how.
not down with
Let's see how you get hit. 1 more point. Now, stress. Stress is just keeping track of how messed up you are in this scene. At the end of the scene, your stress refreshes.
okay.
Okay, so you get it all back.
So the commercial break, you're good.
Yes, we go to a break, we come back, and you're all set. You maybe got a bandage over your left eye or something as we start up the next part. All right, so I have those 2 done. Next, it goes back to the players.
I want to use the combat task guard,
Okay.
which says the character finds a defensible position, focuses on their surrounding it, and otherwise gains additional readiness for an attack.
So that is a minor action, right? Or is
a
that an
combat
action?
task.
Okay. And let me throw this out here, too. In combat, you can do a task and typically a minor action. You can increase what you do, but you have to spend momentum, and then it makes the tasks difficult. But by default, you can do a minor task and a regular task. So, for example, if you want to shoot at somebody, you can actually aim and shoot.
Okay.
And that, I think it gives you one more die, if I
Correct.
remember
You get
right.
to re-roll a D20
Oh, you get to re-roll. Okay.
with aim.
So to describe the guard, I want to duck back into the ship, and then kind of like peek out and start my aim for the next turn.
I think you can do that.
So you're going to ready in action?
Essentially.
Yeah. And it's a task. Every task needs a roll.
Oh, okay.
And so you're just going in there. So it's a very easy. And the reason we're rolling this, by the way, is because it's easy to do, but in doing it well, you gain momentum.
Yeah.
So this will be a difficulty of 1.
And what do I? What what's
it would
my?
be, well, what are you using? Let's use it that way. What do you think you would use to accomplish what you just said?
Well, I know my ship can protect me from rocks.
Yeah.
So, and since I've been hit twice and I know it hurts, I'm going to use my value to fly the ship. Know the ship. I know the ship will protect me from rocks. So, I'm going to use that to, duck into the doorwell. And then.
So, what do you think? Is that? It doesn't sound like bravery when you say duck into the door.
Sounds reason.
No, that's reason. Yeah.
Reason and
Security.
okay.
But then you also used a value. So what is
Using a value? When you use a value, if you use a, we just read that I think before we started, but I got to look back here again.
If you use a value, you get to add an extra dice, right?
It is, but I think it's if you spend something with it. For now, let's say you didn't use it. You have a thing of 1.
Okay.
But let me look at this while we're going.
Oh.
Ooh. All right. Well, I have a success, and then I have a nat 20, which means 2 failures.
Well, it means a complication. I get a threat, so I'll take one of those.
But you already
got a
had a
20.
complication, so take it away.
It doesn't work that way.
So do we get momentum from your complication?
Hold on. How many dice did you roll?
I rolled 2.
Okay. Did you get a success?
I got a success.
All right. Then you were able to do what you wanted to do.
Okay.
Got it. All right. Back to them, and let's throw another rock at
I am
you
removed
again.
from the equation, but I am ducked into the thing.
Yes,
So,
but you are aiming. So you do have cover, which is mentioned, I think, on the summary sheet. I think cover is mentioned in there.
let's see
Yeah, I
here.
was trying to look for it for another.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive it was on there.
It adds +1 difficulty to the
There
enemy
you
task.
go. So now with
I'm
this,
assuming it's create obstacle.
I thought cover was listed, but I'm pretty sure adding 1 to a ranged attack makes sense. So I'll do that to get us started. And he is going to fail because I need to get 3 successes, and I only got 1. Because if you add 1 to it, it makes it a 3. And so that's them. Back to you now. I think it's going to be Teevil.
Teevil's turn. So Teevil has assessed the situation, trying to find order in this chaos, as per one of her values. She will set her phaser to stun and try to aim.
Yep.
And take out incapacitate one of the Neanderthals.
Sounds
So
like a
yours is
plan.
going to be hard because it's going to be 8 or less.
Because I am using
Bravery
and security. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
You can also use control, can you?
Well, hold on.
But-
If you're
hold on.
shooting for a ranged attack, it is control and security.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually, so it's 11.
Yep.
A 10 and a 1.
Okay.
11.
Yep.
11 or less. 11 or less.
11 or worse.
Worse. It's
Or better.
Good.
I got a
Success.
10.
You got
and
what?
But I
Better than me.
aimed, so doesn't that mean I get to
You
re-roll?
get,
I get to re-roll the 15?
you get to re-roll 1 die. Right?
I'll choose to re-roll the
There you
15
go.
since I rolled a 10.
You could do it. You could do it. No,
Another
roll the
15.
Yeah, that die wants to be a 15.
This
So
die
you'll
is
miss.
going away.
That will be a miss.
So what is that result?
It is just a miss. You fire off into the woods.
Pew!
Pew, and it makes a pew sound, exactly. And then we will throw one more rock at Zhao this time.
No.
Zhao, you have a rock coming your way, and I roll a 17 and a 19, which isn't even close. The rock just bounces off of the shuttlecraft and off into the woods. And that's all of them, and we're back to you guys again.
I would like to aim and fire.
I want somebody to hit them before they run away.
Yeah, I'd like to aim and fire.
Yeah.
So I get the reroll.
And you see one of them is holding a phaser but doesn't seem to know what to do with it. It's just kind of waving the phaser around in the air.
Here we go.
What you got?
All right, 1 success. I got the 11, but I can reroll since I aimed, so hopefully.
And?
All right,
Awesome.
5.
So that's 2.
Yep, very
fantastic. Nice. So now, you used a phaser?
Yes, correct.
How many CD does it
7.
say? 7. So that's 7 6-sided dice. Every 1 and 2 is a point of damage. Every 5 or 6 is an effect from the weapon. 3s and 4s you ignore.
So I got 1 5, 2 2s, and a 1.
Now, on your weapon, what effects does it list there?
It just says ranged, size, and charge. So,
All right, so it doesn't actually have an effect.
Yeah, it's type 2 phaser. So
I think on the summary sheet, there's a spot for effect. Oh, we're gonna
Damage effects, yeah.
Yeah.
So
you
none
get
of
to
those
pick
apply.
one.
It just says area,
Yeah.
intense,
none of
knockdown,
those would
piercing,
work.
unforgiving, and vicious.
Uh-huh. Well, here's another thing I would say is a little bit of a deficiency so far. If we have an effect, we should have something we can pick from. In the meantime, the phaser hits him, and how many? There's 3?
There's
3
yeah,
plus the
there's-
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. There's
Okay,
3.
so the effect is if the creature's resilience is lower than the size of the weapon, any attacks using the weapon increase in difficulty by 2.
What?
Well,
I
that's
don't
for
have that
that's for
issue.
the size. That's for the difference in size.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it's like too big for me to handle, but it's not.
Yeah,
So that's not.
and it'd be different. And that's one that I don't think will come up here. I was mentioning earlier. I don't think size will matter in this adventure.
Size always
because it
matters.
is scripted already, and there isn't anything of unusually large or unusually small size.
So no rodents of unusual size?
I don't think so. Maybe a kitten, but not a rodent. We'll see.
I guess I could use. I have 5 charge 5, so apparently I can
Yeah.
use a charge number to get more damage or area effect or intensity.
That is correct. Yes.
Or vicious.
They're restored at the end of the scene, but in the meantime, once you hit, you can add another damage for a charge, make it an area for 2 charges, make it intense for 2 charges, or make it piercing for a charge. These guys don't have any armor or soak, as it's called, so you wouldn't need piercing.
Right, and vicious is just what extra damage.
Yeah, additional damage for each effect rolled. Yeah, so you did roll 1 effect, so you could use 2 charges to do an extra damage.
How about an area? Can I get a couple guys maybe
Yeah.
in the blast? All right, I'll do that.
Sure can. And when that happens, I think it's an additional target for each effect rolled. So you rolled 1 effect,
So,
so you would have 1 other target.
Perfect.
So he managed to hit 2 people with
Yes,
1 shot.
you did.
Good going.
Well
Zao.
done.
Yes.
All right. So as you do that, the phaser blast spooks those 2 and the others, and they turn and they run off into the woods.
All 4 of them left?
Yes. So once you beat them up a little, they just turn and run off. Like they get spooked by this pew 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 sounds.
Superior technology.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Yeah, you
Also,
are
it feels so
superior. Let me just see what else we have. Nobody was bruised before the start, but you guys were during it. So this combat's not meant to be deadly. Once we have figured out the mechanics of combat, which I don't know how much we figured out, but I think we got somewhere, then the Neanderthals flee into the surrounding area. Now you have a chance to take a breather, which recovers all of your lost stress. Any injured characters can be patched up enough again to get them moving. I don't think anybody has actually been injured. I think it's just a little bit of stress down.
Just a little bit of stress.
Okay. And none of the foes have been knocked out, so they all ran away. All right, you wanted to check out the shuttle. Somebody said they wanted to check out the shuttle.
Yes.
Yes.
We must run diagnostics on the shuttle to see how banged up it is.
Yeah. Upon examination, you notice the shuttle is mostly intact, but you're going to need a few parts to fix it up in order to be able to take off again. And you ought to be able to find those parts on the science outpost.
Right.
Here.
So we've reviewed the data banks of the shuttle and discovered that there's a science post.
Well, you know there's a science post here. That's where the distress signal came from. Yes.
Is the computer working? Can we get some navigation where we need to go?
It is. You can actually see the science station on a rocky bluff a few kilometers in the distance.
Is that the way those guys ran to, or no?
Not really. They just kind of scattered
okay.
because you shot them twice. Ow. So let's start our way towards the science station. It's obvious that the march to the science outpost is no simple stroll. The journey covers several kilometers, and the terrain between you and your goal is rough and rocky, with strange and abundant flora blocking the path. So here, we're going to explore a couple of other rules, and this is challenges and obstacles that we'll be going through. So the first that we'll be working with is early in the trek. You come to a ravine that isn't too far across, but it is very deep. It's a deep but narrow ravine in the ground. On the far side, you can see a long piece of stone that looks like it could bridge the gap, but you have to be able to get over there in order to get it. Here's where it's time for people to probably need to work together, maybe spend the momentum that we had, or even use determination or something, just throwing it all out there because it's probably going to happen. Crossing the ravine alone, so just pretty much just jumping across, is a resilience plus security task with a difficulty of 4. Whew. So that's up there. Difficult, but not impossible. Once across, you can use the rock slab, to move over to make a bridge, which has also a high difficulty of 3, but that's once somebody gets across. Who is going to try and get across there?
Wait, can we examine the area to see if there's any vines or trees that we could use to maybe make that jump a bit easier?
Yeah, like pole vaulted or something.
What I'm hearing there is the way that the game system is set up. One person's going to be doing it, but then you could be trying to assist them based on what it is you came up with. So we have one person trying it. Who's going to be the one to try to get across there? Who has the best resilience plus security?
I'm at a 12.
I think you're getting nominated, Zao. Because my resilience is only 10.
11.
I mean, mine's an 8, but with the security, mine's a total of 12.
Okay. And Tivol has 11.
11.
And
I'm a 10.
10? Okay. So, Zhao, I think you're going to be nominated to be the one to make it
I think
across.
what we can do is Tivo and I can kind of do the handhold thing, and he can kind of run, and then we help spring him.
Nice. That'd be pretty cool. Well, let's figure out what we're going to use to do that, because you each get to roll 2 d20s based on the attribute and skill that you want to use to help him. And then once you've done that, as long as you are successful, and he then rolls any success, he gets an extra success based on you guys' assistance.
I imagine that would be control, because we need to time it specifically, and then science is to be able to launch it in a certain trajectory. Because 45-degree angle flies the furthest.
Yeah, I think that sounds
For
good.
once, I agree with your calculations.
For
Yolo.
once, I agree. What the hell was that, Calvin? Gosh. The only other thing I wanted to look at here was the assistance again, because you are going to be rolling. 2 different people are going to assist here, and I believe that's fine. I just want to make sure how. Teamwork and assistance.
Right.
Several characters can work together as a team when attempting to perform a task. And the way this works is each assistant rolls 1 d20 using the attribute, skill, and focus that we determine. And then the leader rolls their task as normal. Okay. In this case, remember, you all have determination, you all have blah, 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 all that stuff. The 1 momentum is still there. And you may add the person attempting the task, that would be Zhao in this case, could add another d20 or more by allowing me to have more threat.
So I rolled a 4.
Do I
So
have
you
to
were
just
successful.
roll 1?
You roll one 20-sided die.
Roll one 20-sided die. It has to be less than 15.
Okay. Do I get to use my analytical talent? Do we want to use a momentum?
Well, analytical talent as a focus will work automatically. But in this case, as an assistant,
an
assisting thing, it doesn't make a difference. You're successful
I got
or
a
not.
success. I got an 8.
So now, as long as you're successful at all, Zhao, you will add 2 more successes.
So I'm just rolling one die.
Well, you roll 2. You're performing the task. Right. So that's 2. Plus, do you want to use the momentum to give it another die? And do you want to give me a threat so you have another die?
I definitely don't want to give you a threat.
Should we use the
momentum? You need to be able to get across the ravine.
That's true.
We're going to use the momentum.
Okay. Right. So add one more die.
So you have 3d20 now.
Yeah.
All right.
Got to roll less
Come
than
on,
12
Zhao,
on
you
one
can
of
do
them.
it.
You have to be successful on 2. Because it's a difficulty of 4 for him to get across.
So you said he only needs 1 success.
It's 4. He needs 1.
Okay.
He needs to be successful at all in order to add your 2.
Okay.
So he needs 1 for that, but then he actually needs 4 to
be completely
But we've
successful.
already provided 2.
Only if he's successful at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So say he had
So
no
he needs
successes
2.
here, your 2 don't matter. So he doesn't get a minimum of 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has to actually be semi-successful in order for you to be assisting him. So say you're set there and you're ready to boost him over and he runs the wrong way. It doesn't matter how ready you were.
Fair enough.
Stop.
Yeah, he trips.
Commit, damn it.
What you got?
Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
So he got a natural 1, which is 2 successes.
successes.
That is, so that
and
works.
then the natural 20.
That just introduces a complication. It does not negate a success.
Okay.
They are not. They're not.
So, okay, I got the 2
contradictory.
successes I needed.
Yes. What was the other die?
That's a 17.
17.
Okay.
Okay.
So with the 20, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a threat for now.
Stop touching the threat pool.
It's too late. It's done.
It's piling up.
Yeah. Well, it's only 2.
It's piling up, Jeff.
All right. So you guys got the 4 you needed. Zhao lands safely on the other side. Now, you need to get that rock, the makeshift bridge.
Yeah, I need to knock
This
it
is
out.
where I'm probably going to end up with some threat here, which is okay. That's good for me. So you make it across. You can attempt to shift the slab of rock into place as a makeshift bridge, and this requires either resilience plus security or control plus science with a difficulty of 3.
Oof, looks like it's going to be resilience plus security again.
And how
Is
much?
there anything in the area that he can use to help him?
Can I,
He's already helping himself in this case.
yeah, okay.
What
Are
could
there
you,
any,
what
like-
could you do that
like-
would improve the odds? I mean,
I could blast away a little bit at the bottom of it on one side to make it easier to tip over.
Yeah.
so to improve the odds, in this case, you would be adding a point of threat because you have no momentum.
Okay, that's true.
I don't mind it. That's the way it's. I mean, honestly, that's the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to be
Right.
like an ebb and flow back,
Yeah.
where you guys build up momentum, but then the story closes in on you as you're building up momentum. And
Right.
But there's trees around, right? Couldn't he use a limb as like a little fulcrum to
lever.
help?
we'll find
or
out how the
lever?
roll turns out. Yeah, if he wants to do that, then that's an extra D20, and I get a point of threat.
All right. Yeah, I'll go for it.
Okay, so I will add
Stop
one
touching
threat
the threat
to
pool.
the threat pool,
So I
and
got-
you will have 3 D20,
So resilience and security.
and you need to have all 3 successes.
Oh, there's only 3 dice.
You have to roll poorly for D&D. What you got?
Oh no.
Actually,
Yeah,
it didn't
there's
work out
a
'cause
1.
I need a 12. Yeah, so I
So
got
what
two,
you got?
2 14s and another 1.
Well, the 1 is 2 successes.
Yeah, but I need
Oh,
3.
the 14s didn't. All right, so you only had 2 successes. That's the thing. Now you need to try again because it didn't work. And are you going to use all 3 again?
he has to.
Yeah.
He can't get 3 successes without it.
I will add another threat to the threat pool.
I'm going to make those poker chips disappear.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
It's like
Come on.
magic.
There
Yeah,
we
there
go.
All right,
That's-
you got
that's
all
the
5.
momentum.
Success.
You got
That's
5.
momentum.
Got a 1 and
Yeah.
a 4 and a 3.
Okay, so you got, well, that's 4 successes.
Yeah, sorry.
So you get
Sorry.
2 to your momentum.
2
is
momentum.
added to your momentum pool.
Very nice.
Good. All right, so after a couple of attempts,
Just a
you're
little-
able to slide that slab into place. Now, in order for the other 2 to get across, it's pretty easy. It's a control plus security task with a difficulty of 1 for you to balance across.
come up to the left.
So you're
and see
still
what's on
rolling
the
2
slab.
because it's a regular task, but you only need a 1. So if you get 2 successes or more, or more than 1, it's more momentum. What you end up
Put those dice away.
We do the Wilhelm scream as it goes down the.
So the way it works out is, I'm trying to think, what kind of equipment does your character have?
A phaser?
Okay. And Mickie, you go ahead and roll for Teevil. Because you guys are both going
A 1
across.
and a 17.
Well, you got it. You got 2 successes. You actually add 1 to momentum. Now,
Awesome.
as this is happening, JJ, you have another option. You can do an immediate momentum spend to roll another die.
Okay.
Do it.
You only need 1 success. So we take that and don't roll high again. What'd you roll?
17.
17. You suck.
These dice are for D&D.
You need to take those
Using the wrong
dice
dice.
and put them away and use these
No.
dice.
He has
I'm
them.
not touching his dice.
He has them weighted for D&D.
Apparently. That's why he always kills us.
That could be. All right. Your phaser falls down into the chasm.
All right, whatever.
All right.
You're going to say whatever later when they're those Neanderthals.
I'll fart in their own direction.
His farts are deadly.
So part of the I use a threat point plus your failure to let your phaser fall down, and you still have to keep trying to make your way across. You haven't made your way across
He's
yet.
like hugging
unfortunately.
the slab.
Right.
Yeah,
Second attempt.
yeah, essentially.
Throw him across.
Can we help him?
Come on, Yolan, let's go.
Three successes.
Well, fantastic. You add 2 more to your momentum. All right. We're making the way across.
And then the phaser takes an awkward bounce to spend one momentum. The phaser takes
back.
an awkward bounce like a football and it comes
Is
up
there
on the other side of
anything
the
on
ravine.
spending momentum that says get your weapon out of a chasm?
I know, right?
Because if there is, you get it. Oh, and there's one thing that the book specifically states: momentum is always useful, no exceptions. It always provides a benefit, whether it be rolling another die or something else on that list. Momentum is never bad. It is always useful. Now, your roll could suck, but the momentum itself gave you another roll.
Right, yeah.
All right, so we made it through, or made it past the chasm. You're all 3 on the other side. Let me see here. Blah, 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 blah. And I chose, they give a few options. One way for things to happen is I can use threat to impose a complication. And one of the complication options for this is losing a piece of equipment. Could have been a minor injury or something like that. I chose to lose a piece of equipment, just to throw the rules piece in there. The next, on your way, you're passing a bunch of flora, a lot of plants and local vegetation that give off different things as you walk near them, like little spores that pop out.
Oh my God, that was an episode, an original series.
It was. There was some
the
really
guys throwing the rocks,
nasty
too.
stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're
Spears.
probably watching from afar, probably keeping an eye on you guys. You are. Let's see. This JJ. This is likened back to a skills challenge in D&D. So the way this works is we need to have 16 successes in order to finish overcoming this task. And I need to look at this briefly, but you guys are going to be going through this vegetation and having to not get hurt.
Nobody touch a thing.
Question.
Yes,
So
go for
one
it.
of my focuses is biology.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be feasible that in my studies I would have come across this fauna and have some knowledge of how it works?
I
and-
definitely like the idea, yes. But you'll have to go along with something else that goes with it. Because remember, you need to have 2 pieces.
Two
you need
pieces.
the attribute and the skill. So you mentioned biology, but where is that?
So that's science.
That's
and
under
then-
That's under science.
All right, so then
So
what is
reason
the
and science.
attribute?
Reason and science,
Okay.
right? So I would have noticed the fauna. I've been studying the fauna as we walk through this strange planet.
Similar to something you've seen before.
And this is similar to what I've studied before.
These are the droids you're looking
These
for.
are the
No.
plants we're looking for.
As science officer, I assume you know that flora is plants and fauna is animals. Yes?
YOLO, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're silenced.
Silenced.
Because you keep calling
I keep
it fauna.
flora
It
and
happens.
fauna. Flora.
So the default task for this is indeed reason and science, but there are other possibilities. Possibly empathy and medicine, or control and security for basic vigilance and field survival skills, something like that.
Yeah,
And you guys come up with what you want to
We could burn
use.
this jungle down is what we could do.
We could, but then we would destroy all the native life.
That and the Prime Directive, right?
Seek out new life.
This is not a sentient.
Yeah, it doesn't.
creature.
It
We're
doesn't
not gonna
necessarily
interfere.
matter for plants.
This floor is not going to be,
And there's already a science
it-
station here. If the
Yeah.
Federation's messing with it, they're already here.
Okay.
I am trying to find the stinking spot about the tasks. Of course, just have to read the book, right? This is because what we're doing is like I said, it is a obstacle, which is a sequence of tasks that have to be done together. Okay.
So a sequence of tasks that
Yeah.
have to be done. So we need to.
Well, you guys will each be making rolls for tasks. I'm just trying to read again how this is going
using
to work.
whatever attribute and skills.
Keep going. Keep
match.
talking.
Keep talking.
What did you study at the academy while you're trudging through the plants? Anybody?
Well, I mean, I noticed that Zhao over here never seems to take off his boots. I mean, you do realize you're probably going to get a fungus.
No, I'll be fine. I don't want to get any bacteria in there. Be all right.
Chances are
My
that
feet are dry. That's all that
chances
matters.
are that the bacteria he would be exposed to on this planet are far more dangerous than the bacteria that he already has on his stinky socks.
Yeah, but you got to let your feet breathe.
And we will
We haven't
once
been
we
here
get
that
to the.
long.
But that's what I'm saying is he's like, have you seen him? He sleeps with his boots on.
I've always kind of noticed that, but who am I to judge the customs of other planets?
I mean, can you imagine how ripe his feet must be?
Well, they're not. They're actually.
They-
I don't have human feet. They're like cybernetic implants. Those boots are they're stuck there. No, I'm just kidding.
You see, now you've had him point out something
Yeah,
in
now
his
it's awkward.
anatomy that he did not want to share. That is called uncomfortableness. I studied this
I like it.
when I studied human behavior during my anthropological
I'm wondering if
studies.
all the science
Stupid
crew that
emotion.
was stationed here are these Neanderthals now, or it's just maybe a couple of them were out and about.
It does seem interesting.
And also, if we know the races of the team that was here, some of us could actually turn into those things, depending who's affected.
Dun, dun, dun.
I do find it interesting. I noticed that they were wearing Federation uniforms when they were throwing rocks at YOLO here.
Wow. They might just not like YOLO, though.
Who does?
Did you owe those guys money?
No, I didn't.
So
that
this,
you know of.
I think I've got it now. So let me throw this out here. I think this is exceptionally difficult for the minimum number of players of 3. However, the way this works out is the players may attempt a maximum of 3 tasks to overcome this obstacle. Now, this obstacle is overcome with 16 successes or a single task of a difficulty 4 or better to overcome it in one shot. So everybody working together could get 16 in order to get it, or one person gets 4, and that takes care of it. But you are
16?
allowed 3 tasks, so 3 attempts
Right.
at doing it. And it doesn't say each person is allowed 3, nor does it say only 3 for the whole party. So I think I'm going to do it as 3 per person because it's just going to make it easier for us that way.
Did you figure out how to use the focus?
The focus is if you roll that or lower, you get 2 successes.
Okay.
You are, by default, you're determined to have a focus of 1 in everything, but the things that are 2 or higher, you're just a little bit better at.
Okay. So if we're going to go about this, and I'm going to use reason and science
Okay? So you start by rolling 2.
too, and
Yeah.
should I roll 2 or lower,
Yeah.
that automatically grants
An extra
an
success.
extra success.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
I
do we have a plan?
So remember, you have 4 momentum to work with, and a single result of 4 or better from somebody overcomes the obstacle completely. Otherwise, we're adding up how many successes until we hit 16.
Yeah, it's-
But each person may only try 3 times.
We have 4 momentum. Does each of one of us want to use
well, I
a
mean,
moment?
you could technically pull it off in one shot, with your
Could.
science skills.
Or fail it horribly.
Yeah,
Or fail it
Well,
miserably.
Yeah.
what is setting off the spore cloud? Is it like movement of walking by it?
Yes.
So why don't we just like roll a rock through it?
Set
Like
everything
find
up.
a rock big enough. This is going down a hill. Just roll a rock.
Are we
down.
going downhill?
Well, you're traversing a bunch of different terrain, up and down,
So it won't be
whatever,
the
to
same
get here.
plants
It's a couple kilometers, and in order to keep a pace through here, you've got to figure out how to get by these plants that don't like you. They're definitely spitting out poisonous stuff.
So I like where your train of reason is going.
So yeah, like just set off the poison so it has no poison left to spit by the time we walk by it.
So what would you say?
Have we confirmed
what would
that
you
it's
say you would
momentum?
be using for that task?
Rocks. There's plenty of.
No, what skill, what attribute and skill would you use for that? Because you have to perform a task for this.
I mean, control and security.
Okay. So now you would need to roll that.
Okay.
So this determines whether you're successful or not. The game doesn't work with any freebies. And with this task happening,
So you are trying to throw something to
I'm
see
throwing a
if
rock
you,
at a plant
yeah,
to see if
to
I can
see
get
if
it
you
to
can
release
get
the
it to
spores.
release the
It's spores.
spores.
and the way this is going to work, like I said, each person will get 3 attempts, but every attempt past the first will be an extra 1 difficulty. So
2
your first-
successes.
All right, so you have 2 successes. That starts, and that's your first attempt. Your next attempt adds another difficulty, just so you know. So
Okay.
it will mean that in order to be successful, you would need an extra. Right now, we're going with the difficulty of 4 will overcome it completely. The next time you try, it's a difficulty of 5 to overcome it completely.
So given
You
that
have added 2
discovery-
successes to reach 16.
Okay.
So there's 2
I got you
tracks
now.
we're going on. Well, there's one track to 16, but that can be avoided by anybody hitting 4.
So if I roll you go for broke. 2 and 2, roll 4,
You roll 2 ones, we're gold.
we're golden.
Or 2s, because she has a focus in biology.
So throw some extra dice in there.
Plantology.
And how are you doing it?
She wants reason and science.
Reason and science.
But, but what are you doing?
if
I'm
you
throwing
shut
rocks.
up, I'll explain it.
Well, stop saying reason and
Crying
science.
out loud.
There's a reason I'm using science.
There's a reason I'm using science. So having noted that
Line.
your throwing of the rock triggered the poison, I will then attempt to keep kind of that momentum ahead of us in order to have the poison spores triggered before we pass that area.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Okay.
You're using 1?
You want to use a little more? Because we got to get to 4.
I'm going to use 2
Okay.
momentum.
Well, then you get 4 dice, yeah?
That's not
So
good.
you're going to roll 1 at a time?
Yes, I am going to roll 1 at a time.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a success.
All right, there's 1.
Come on.
Natural 20.
That's a bad one. All
And
so you have
another.
2 successes and a complication. What I'm going to do for the complication is the next time you roll, you will have another +1 to your difficulty. So the next time that you try it, you'll need to get 6 if you want to negate everything.
Oy.
Aye. JJ, did you mark down her 2 successes? Yep. All right, so we have 4 out of 16. Ja, what are you doing?
You said I could use empathy and medicine?
Yeah, they give that as an option for covering medical knowledge and what substances are toxic to different species. So the things that you're noting in the air. Do you have a tricorder?
No, not listed.
I don't see tricorder on any.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They mentioned tricorder in here. That's why I say it. But you're familiar with some different
Right now,
things,
field
right?
medicine, I would know what's bad and what's what's.
So you can see perhaps which little clouds to avoid.
Yeah, or take this path.
So empathy and medicine gives you what?
13.
13? That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Plus field medic 2. Hopefully I get up another 2 here. 10 and a 15.
So you got 1?
1. Yeah, 1.
We got 1 more success there, so we're up to 5, right?
That's correct.
So how are we going to get 5 successes in 1 if we're
It's going to get
each?
harder.
It gets harder for any one person to negate it, but you need to get 16 before you all try it 3 times. Or as part of each of you going 3 times, if you get to 16, nobody's going to get hurt. If you don't get to 16, then there will be people will get beat up a little by the poisonous plants.
All right. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
All right, go for it. And
Do-do-do.
he has to shake him a little extra.
All right, we got 2 successes.
2 successes. All right, mark those down. So we're up to what, 7?
Yep.
All right. And Teevil, your turn again.
Still confused, but okay.
We're trying to get to 16 because I don't think anybody's going to hit.
We're not gonna-
Within 9 rolls, we need to get to 16.
Yeah.
Because now it's impossible to get 5.
It's not necessarily impossible. It's just unlikely.
2 successes.
2 successes.
There you go. That's 2 more.
We're at 9.
Need to get those ones rolling here. That's
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, you get extra dice by generating
Boom!
threat.
Yeah, and I got a 1. That's
Yeah.
2. I got a 2, but my field medic is 2. I'm using that skill.
That's 4 then.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very nice.
That pushes us at 13.
So you guys are pretty good at navigating through poisonous plants.
Well, we've done this before. Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh,
So
yeah,
now
they're training
you
at the
need
academy
3.
for this stuff.
2 more.
All right. So you only need 1 more now.
We got 1 more.
Got 1 more.
There you go. All right. So you made it all the way through. You successfully overcome. So you avoid the dangerous areas and suffer no negative consequences. Just to give you an idea, if you had not completely overcome it, each person would have 1 6-sided die rolled against them. And if it was a 5 or a 6, you're exposed to poison and you start getting sick.
Val, did you notice that he urinated on a cloth to put on his mask? Did you see that? Like, that was weird.
I think you're hallucinating.
That could be.
I call it Asian Orange.
On that note, I think we're going to take a break at the end of this episode, and we'll pick it back up as our characters get closer to the science station. On the Star Trek Adventures playtest, for now, we're going to wrap it up and say...
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.